have to have tough conversation in the future with a lot of people, because it seems like there's a lot of people that don't like it here, and it's, for me it's weird. It's weird because I came here because I wanted to, and it's frustrating. I don't know for you guys because you're immigrants as well, and it's frustrating to see people that it seem they're here but they don't like it. Why? Why are you here?
I know.
Why do you want, like, why are you here if you seem to hate everything that we're about? Right?
And the awful truth about that is that if you don't enjoy where you are not able to enjoy anything. I mean, it's not about Miami, it's not about living in London or New York
US, whatever.
or Colombia or Canada or whatever. It's about you.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter where you are. I feel. I love Miami. I mean, I love Miami. I like this place.
Like the view.
Like the view.
But I actually think I love Manizales. I love Bogota. I love New York. I love every single place where I have been. But because I have to try, I need to think that I like my life. So what I'm enjoying is my life, not the city.
Yeah.
So I can be happy wherever I want.
Yeah, because the environment is a big part of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because
Of course.
because this is something that I told many clients when they were looking for a new place to live is you're not only buying the house, you're also buying the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
'cause,
community.
Yeah.
The communities.
Then the first thing that I always tell them when they're looking at the new place is you look at the house. Sure, when you see something that you like, go drive around. Go drive around a couple of times, and then we can schedule, and then we can go see it, and then we can go see it in person. We could just, if it's too far, just go, like, you can browse on Google Map. This is the cool thing with what we can do right now is you can browse on Google Map. You can check a little bit what's around. You can see, okay, do I see myself in this environment every day? Right? And this is why I liked when the way we traveled lately is because we kind of. I like to see myself, when I travel, I like to see myself like, what would my life be like if I lived here? You know?
I always doing that.
I like it a lot. When we were in New York, we were a couple of days at the same place, and so I was like, little routine, there's a little coffee shop, there's a little restaurant, there's the gym or whatever. Like, and when we were in Peru, it was the same thing. We spent a week at this amazing Airbnb, the Green Villa, right? I think in the Urubamba region, in Cusco,
Beautiful.
of like about an hour and a half of Cusco in the mountains. But it was amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have been, but
No, but
I didn't
bucket
know
list.
I didn't know what Peru was. I didn't know what
They
I
are
didn't know
on the Andes Mountains, so it's similar to Colombia. So many ways.
It was very cool. It was amazing. And then we were in this little town. There was a bunch of I had the best pesto pasta in my life. And in this backyard of a house. They made the pasta, and it cost like, I don't know, like 25 soles or whatever, which is like $5. It was amazing. It was amazing. And this is the environment is very very important.
We spend so much time thinking, where do we want to live next?
Oh yeah,
We-
that's
we-
our thing.
Our thing is rent.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we are not ready for buying. I think that we enjoy more life just changing spots every single time.
Yeah.
It's usually 6
a
months.
year.
Every 6 months.
We are thinking
Yeah.
to spend, let's say, no more than 2 years more in Miami as a main location. I mean, we have big plans for Miami, but we would like to.
And we know that we want to
explore
establish our
another
business
parts of the
here.
world
This
for
is,
sure.
but yeah, we want to move around. I think that we're excited to explore.
And also, what you were saying. It's super true. I mean, we are super picky in terms of choosing a house. it's like the most challenging thing that you
It's
can
hard,
do,
yeah.
because
It's such a commitment.
and for us,
Uh-huh.
it's our office too.
For someone that likes to move around a lot, it's even to find the right one.
Yeah. It's hard for us.
We spend so much time at home. We work from home, so we really need to take into consideration a lot of things before moving. Because I will. Actually, I love to be at home. I'm not the kind of person who likes to go out. I like to go out on my motorcycle or on a trip like that, but I don't like to go out to a restaurant or a bar or something like that. I prefer to stay at home. So I need to be sure that I will be happy in my home. And sometimes that requires to spend a little bit more of money. But yeah.
It's an interesting if you're not happy at home, there's something going wildly wrong in your life.
Yeah.
I always think that, I mean, let's think about how buildings are built today. They are built for people to sleep, take a bath, maybe eat and go work, because we are like kettles. You know, like we spend so much time working that houses nowadays are super small, and they don't have like a library. They don't have like too many rooms for your personal enjoyment. They are just made for rest, take a shower, and they go. But for me, it's different because I spend so much time at home. I work from home. So I always like to have different spaces,
100%.
to be able to, I don't know, maybe have a garden, a nice view. If my wife is working on the same room, I would like to change the rooms. Sometimes I need to do that. So it's like
The
most
spaces are
important thing to do.
important. Yeah.
If you're home.
Do you get a lot of inspiration? I'm guessing because you move so much from like
The
your
different-
environment, right? Like changing all your environment. So
100%.
you're probably inspired, especially with the work that you do. So your environment is
Yeah.
affecting all of that.
Absolutely. Like we definitely try to maximize like wherever we're moving, we try to explore and really understand like what our environment is, and like I don't know, in terms of like photography and everything, like we use all of our spaces to, you know, the full. I mean, I think we could use them more actually.
We always
But
take
there's
our
a
home
million
as
different-
as an
there's a-
advantage.
Yeah, but I think it's really important. And I think also, you know, for us it's like we don't like having a lot of things. Like we're not like we're very, very light. Like yeah,
But if you
Ready
move
to
every
go.
6 months, you have
Yeah,
to.
no.
Actually, we rent furnished.
yeah, we do.
You
We
rent
rent
furnished?
furnished. Yeah.
And we just have the gear what we need for work and clothes. That's it.
That's it. Yeah. We do have a
You-
we do have a storage. But the storage and we every time we look at it we're like, are we ever going to need any of these things inside the storage?
It's so fun because we think that hey
We stand there
we are
every
paying
time.
rent for these things that we don't need.
But it is tiny. It's a closet. It's a
yeah.
tiny closet. It's not like a big. No. It's like a it's a little thing. But
I feel I'm in this point of my life where I think to have belongings is to have
like a-
ties. It's to have
it's a weight.
that I don't want to carry with me right
Agreed.
now.
It makes sense.
Especially for your lifestyle. I mean,
Yeah.
definitely
It makes sense
yeah.
because you were saying that you wanted to you like to rent because of the freedom, which makes sense because this is one of the big advantage when you're renting versus when you're buying, right? It's
Yeah.
because when you're also if you're gonna invest the money that you're gonna put towards down payment for a house, if you're gonna invest that money into the market or into some investment properties, then it's actually it makes more financial sense to rent than to buy because you can the house that you have, right? The house that you have, you're paying for the expenses.
Yeah.
So technically the money flows out of your account towards the house. So technically the house that you have is more of a liability than an asset.
Yeah.
If you look at specifically in terms of an investment. But so if you rent, the thing that you have is the cool thing is you have more freedom because you don't like this area,
You're out.
Yeah.
you're out. You can move very easy. If versus if you own, then you need to think about, okay, what do I do with the house, right? Do I need the money? Do I need the money to buy another one? Do I need this money to do something else?
Do I need to fix it? Do I need
to
how much
fix
do I need to
it?
invest in it?
We tend to underestimate. Is that the word?
Yeah.
The expenses that we need to put towards maintaining the place, right?
Of
Because
course.
it costs a lot of money. And
And
then
buying
of
furniture.
course
Buying
buying
furniture.
furniture. Those are super expensive.
I know.
And then when you rent, you more freedom. When you buy, you're locked in a little bit more towards this area. So you have to think about, okay, do I sell? Do I rent it out? I still need to think about those. I still need to manage. There's a bunch of things. So renting, of course, freedom, more interesting. But you don't have the upside. You don't have the swing in the market. You don't have there's the cool thing with buying a home is it if you want to move around, renting is nice. It gives you the freedom. If you want to stay, if you want to anchor yourself somewhere, owning your home outright, having a little bit of money aside to that you have that makes money, and then so you can pay for your base expenses. Or this is fuck you money. When you're good, when you have your house, when you're okay with the money that you have a little bit money aside to pay for your taxes, to pay for your expenses. You can be very
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
To have something.
Yeah.
It's very important. And I am. The funny thing is that in Colombia, old people, boomers, they always teach us that first you need to buy your house. It's the first thing you need to do in your life. If you don't have a house, what do you have?
Yeah.
And I grew up with that way of thinking.
It's the same thing in Canada.
And
Same.
I do appreciate that. I feel that I'm so grateful that my mom has a house, because in Colombia it's hard. I mean, to buy a house is hard. I feel that everywhere else too, but in Colombia, the economy is not as wealth as in America, for example. So we appreciate more that kind of things. So I'm grateful that my mom has. But for me, I want adventure. I want to live my life because I grew up in a world that it's supposed to, over. Like the world is supposed to come to an end very soon. I don't think about that, but it feels like that. It feels like everything is going
Is
to
uncertain. Everything
trash,
feels.
that the nature it's dying, that everything is dying, that our reliable work is dying because our generation doesn't have that kind of work that our parents had. Everything is super different. It's changing. So I want to live this life the way that I want,
Right.
not the way that
But
society.
do you
tells
know
me.
what the cool thing about a lot of change and a lot of chaos is? There's a lot of opportunities
Of course.
when there's chaos.
I love chaos.
Yeah.
I love it.
Controlled
That's like
chaos is actually
uncertainty.
very cool.
Uh-huh.
And when it's too much regulated, this is why when we implement, I think when we implement the government, it's just if we don't do, because I've been thinking about that a lot lately. What kind of person does it take to make the rules for the country? What kind of
My
person does it take to actually think about all of the things that could happen, lay it out, and figure out the best set of rules for us to agree on and live together. And it's interesting because the set of rules for the U.S. is actually it's way better than in Canada. The incentives are better for the government. I think we're maybe at the end of a cycle where human nature, because we're all a little shitheads, right? And everyone has. Everyone, we're all a little bit selfish. We're all a little bit self-centered, and I think we all have the degree of corruptible minds. We
Sure,
all have this
absolutely.
degree of like, if we see it as a big advantage for us, and we don't see too much of a downside, we're all gonna, but all of the levels are different, and I think when you put someone in power, when you put someone in a position of deciding, of power and influence, I think we're all going to be selfish on certain levels. So what tends to happen is, like, let's say you have someone, right, you're in position that decide something. Well, at some point, when you start, everyone starts fresh. Everyone starts with the best intention, but after a while, you get comfortable in your seats.
Mm-hmm.
You get comfortable, and you start to know how it works. You start to know, all right, so maybe if I do this, maybe I can do that. Maybe, and then you start to maybe take advantage of the position that you have. So that's why terms limits are interesting, because you don't want someone to be there too long, right? Because with
For
power power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get more comfortable, then maybe you take a payout, maybe you take some shortcuts, maybe. And I think there's just a cycle of because how we are as human beings. I think it's just a cycle, and that we're kind of at the end of the cycle where it seems like it's most corrupt. It seems like it seems very very tight, very opaque. It seems to be a lot of fuckery going on with a lot of things, and I think it's just the way we're built. I think at some point, all of our organization are going to corrupt ourselves, and by the inside.
Yeah.
I feel like
I have a different point of view about that.
it's cool.
I feel that looking through history, I feel that we are on a very nice situation right now. I
course.
mean, we
Created
enjoy of a lot of rights, a lot of things that we earn or our ancestors earn, and we have a kind of equilibrium in the world. I mean, it's not easy, because we grew up with a lot of nice, like, I feel that a lot of people grew up on a nice environment, and when we look outside, we see corruption, we see madness, we see destruction, war. But if we take a look wider into what the world is and what humanity is, we are kind of trying to solve better the problems right now. Try to think that 100 years ago we were. It was after First World War, getting into the Second World War, and the world was so different, so violent. And right now it's violent, it's corrupt, but it's super evident too, because of social media, because of television, because of everything, because there is so much people doing their research about how things work, so it's more evident.
Yeah.
But I feel that we as humankind, we are working very, very hard, and I know people that are working like restlessly,
Yeah.
to find better ways to work as humanity. And I feel what you said it's totally true. I feel that people in power should be on power enough time to do something, to really know what they are doing, but not too much to start doing what their own will. And that's why we have institutions. And institutions are greater than men, and I kind of like that, because you try to change something, not too much, because you can't, because of the institution, but just enough to keep moving the humankind.
This is why it's not good when we lose trust in those institutions.
Absolutely.
When we see fuckery that they're doing. When you politicize the institution, then I think this is how it starts to be very, very weird.
And sometimes it's good, but sometimes we go backwards.
Yeah,
I feel same as you as a single human being. It's the same for institutions. Sometimes institutions are ruled for very interesting people who are very progressive, and sometimes it's not. But the good thing about that is that the same way that some people change something for bad, the same thing happens when someone does.
No, because you're
good.
right. We have made a lot of progress in the last 100, 200 years. When you look at
We're so young.
Yeah, when we look at the child mortality numbers, when you look at absolute poverty numbers, when you look at even death from climate, everyone making a big deal that is climate change is going to be the end of us. But when you actually look at the data, the death from climate events are way down. Absolute poverty is way down. Child mortality is way down. Life expectancy is up.